Happy witching hour. It's High Priestess Jamila, the High Priestess of Lilith, the High Priestess of Satan, the High Priestess. How y'all doing? Okay, so um I got a few minutes in between getting some work done, and I thought I would take a little break between working, and I think I'm gonna go in here and take a shower so I won't take up too much of y'all time. Uh It's a good thing that I have quality discussions to have. It's a very, very good thing. Okay, so I want to talk about why I don't feel sorry for melanated or black Christians, or people that use the Bible, um, or people that I'm sorry. I've gotten to the point where I have removed myself from the bullshit. And, you know, here's why I don't feel sorry for them is because they can read. They can read and they can fully understand and they can interpret something. But yet, out of fear, they continue to feel the need to worship a God that hates them. So I don't really like feeling like I have to be afflicted by that. I don't like that affliction. And no, I don't understand it. And no, I will never understand it. And I will never be in the so called Holy Spirit. I am very unholy. Um, and it's not just, it's not just me that feels this way. There are a lot of people that don't contend with that. And these are people outside of the black race, and they don't contend with it because there's something for everybody in that holy Bible to curse everybody of all races. And I just don't feel sorry for them. I feel like either you're going to stop being in fear or you're not. One or the other. Either you're going to stop or nah. And I think that a lot of people feel as though, they feel as though when they use those spirits or when they're in that spirit, that gives them some kind of power, and it doesn't. I have a serious problem um, with it. And do I think that it's going to get any better? No, I think that there are some people that are just highly susceptible to mind control. And, you know, being alive doesn't necessarily save you, especially if you spend every single day in confusion and chaos. And um, it's like they know why, but they don't really know why. And I don't have any empathy for them, because I feel like they cause way too much disruption. I feel like if a white person wants to be Christian, then I feel like they have every right. Does that mean that they have to spout Bible curses at me? No. In fact, most of them don't. But it's something very different about a black person that would have that much self hatred, that would contend with that. It makes absolutely no sense. I don't think that not contending with that would hurt anybody. But I think that there are people that believe that for some reason they are scared, they are afraid, and they really need to quit bothering other people with it, because I feel like when they're trying to punish people who are like me, I feel like it is because they are trying to pass their sickness on to me. I feel like there is an inherent sickness, and the moment that that sickness starts to get directed upon me, I start to see my satanic healing spirits popping up all over the place, because it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for people to live every single day in turmoil, um, and then project that on to other people. And it seems like, especially people that you see here in social media, I don't experience this in real life. I ran into a Christian lady, about was like 3 weeks ago. My Lyft driver was Christian, and she tried to pass me a pamphlet or some kind of flyer or sheet. Um, and I was able to graciously refuse it. Like, no, I don't mess around with the Bible. And she was like, "What?" I was like, yeah. Because normally, to be polite, when somebody passes you a pamphlet or a piece of paper, you can accept it. But for me, it spelled danger, not from her, but she was very sweet and nice about it. And she was like, "Oh, well." But when people are trying to force it on you, I feel like there's a reason they're trying to force it on you. And, people can be upset about what I'm talking about. In particular, yesterday, when I was speaking about and exposing certain spirits in the Bible um, that are being used to energy harvest, or either steal, or either put people in bondage. There are certain Bible verses that are being used to put people in bondage. And people get upset about that. And that's just way too bad. Nobody should have to live like that. Even back during those times, people didn't want to live like that. That was horrible. And I think that a lot of people that contend with it, they have no empathy for the people that actually were present at that time. To me, when I look at it and when I read it, it seems like this was a very, very dark time in history that should not continuously be tried to repeat it. Um, in fact, um, I think that it is a past life regression. I feel like it's something that people should get past. I'm tired of hearing it's end times, the end is near, the end is near. It's just this repeating cycle happening over and over and over again. And for people to purposely try to harm people who are ushering in, I don't even want to say the new age. I don't want to say new age. Um, but I'll just say something better. You know, now that's a real good way of becoming an enemy. If you're a Christian and you're reading from the Bible and you're not conjuring, these very destructive energies, then you're fine. But if I know for a fact that you are conjuring these destructive energies, I'm going to have a problem with you. And you're not going to like me having that problem with you. I just saw a story and I shared it to my community wall about a woman that was murdered by her husband on Christmas morning. And you guys, I can see y'all went to check out my community wall. And it is what it is. I think that religion teaches us to be ignorant. And, this is the reason why I will always be a proud witch 100%. And I don't need to be anything else. And I don't follow crowds. I don't follow people. I follow my own damn thoughts and intuition. And that's the way that it should be. And I think that it's gotten goofy. I think it's just gotten real goofy. It's a joke at this point. It's almost like, they're trolling us. I feel like we're being trolled or something. It's very strange and unusual. And that has nothing to do with or is based on in real life. um it seems very foreign to me. I don't feel comfortable being bombarded with people with those energies around them, or either that consciousness. I don't feel comfortable with that. And I'm never going to be forced to feel comfortable with that. I'm never going to conform to it. No matter what people do, it just is what it is. So, and I personally feel the reason why they force it upon you and they don't actually give you a valid reason why is because they factually just want to take advantage of you. They factually just want to exploit you. And what has it done? What has it done? What has it done for you? It's turned them into a bunch of stupid perverts to the point where it doesn't even make any sense. I mean, you hear about all races of people murdering their own children and murdering each other behind that religion. But when you see the kind of crap that goes on every single day, you know what I'm saying, and just the disgusting nature. I think personally that they are possibly there. Maybe it's a message that to not Maybe it's a message that they're trying to give you to say, don't go any further. I'm warning you. Look at how crazy I'm acting. Look at how psychotic I am. I'm a pervert. I'm sick. I'm a rapist. I am a murderer. And I think that they're telling you right in your face. And if you're somebody that proceeds and goes forward with that, you can't blame anybody else but yourself because you made that decision to carry forth with that cockamamie crap. You made that decision. You decided to do that. That's nobody else's fault. Nobody told you that you had to, especially when they present it in such a way where it's obvious. Like to me, I feel like when you read the Bible, it's like, oh, well, this is a no-brainer. Let me burn it. That's like a no-brainer. Anybody that proceeds and goes forward obviously lacks the mental capacity to comprehend what they're reading. There are people that can read, but they really can't comprehend. There are people that know what words mean, but for some reason they can't put it together. And anytime you trying to start a modern day crusade against witches in a time where we have legal protection, that's very self-destructive. And I think that you have a choice. If that's what you want to do, you do it. Leave other people alone with it. Don't bother anybody else. Why is it bothering you so much? Why are you concerned about it? Could it be because misery loves company? That's what it looks like to me, is just misery loving company, misery needing company. You made the choice to live your life in misery. You made the choice, not those, not other people. And they will make it very, very, very scary. But it is a deception to the point where I don't even think, like, well, maybe back in the days during the actual Bible times, but it's almost like they try to create this false hell of what they think personally would be hell for you as a witch. So things that may be hell for them, you may not give a damn about it. It's not important to you. But they'll try to create these false hells, and that's false. Acting and saying words, that's not real. That may be how you feel. That may be how they get along. That may be how they do things. But in reality, if it's not the hand of God, it's not. It's not actually God. It's you. You are the one that's carrying that out. You are the one that are speaking those words. You are the one that are doing what you're doing. And then they're mixing it with witchcraft. Y'all already know my stance on that. I don't believe in Christian witchcraft. I don't. I think it's a total oxymoron and it's ridiculous. Some other Christian witchcraft people may think differently. They may think, well, I manifest with chaos, but I guess. But then again, those people are not necessarily out bothering other people. That's more of an internalized thing. That's not an external thing. If they feel the need to be Christian and witches, hey, because maybe they have to go through this process, but that's more so internalized. There's so many people that are doing things external. And then in social media, it's totally being done for attention and clout, which makes it even less real. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe that there are some people who are what they call, quote unquote, prayer warriors. And I do believe that those people can conjure up those spirits, but the problem is that they can be cleared away so easily, and there's so many other things that can be done that it's almost like a waste of time. If they're doing good things for themselves and they're not bothering anybody else, if that was really giving you what you needed, you wouldn't be bothering with nobody else. You wouldn't have to lie on people. You wouldn't have to commit every one of the seven deadly sins if it really was working for you, if it really was something that was meant for you to do. All of that other stuff would be unnecessary. So, and I'm not going to keep getting into this debate with people. I honestly do not care. Whatever it is that they say or do, hey, do what you got to do. At the end of the day, you're the one that's going to have to suffer for it. You're the one that's going to have to face that judgment. Especially when you're because some people, I as a witch, I would know exactly how to use the Bible to curse somebody. I would know exactly how to use it. and how to do it. Would I do it? No, I don't need the Bible to curse somebody. No, I don't. Um, I personally feel as though those energies, while they can be very manipulative, they can very easily be banished with some sage or just some smoke and fire. And then also they can be blocked out completely as well, in case you have some kind of nuance or nuisance person that is forcing that Bible on you. And it's heartbreaking when you see Black mothers and fathers forcing that on their kids. It's almost like, fuck you, I don't even care about you. It's so much hatred. And I just want to say this to my white following. I'm not taking away from you guys' struggle either, because the a person can take a Bible verse and they can curse a white person as well. So I'm not taking away from y'all, but when it's obvious when it comes to Black people, and it's not about Black people, needing to be kept in line. It's about the generational hatred, the generational crap, the generational curses that are related to that religion. Specifically, the curse of Ham tells you that Black people or melanated people are cursed. Why on earth would you try to pass that down to your children and then teach them self hatred, suffering, sickness, and well, death is always going to come at some point, not to the spirit, but to the body. But why would you do that? To me, it's kind of ridiculous. And not kind of ridiculous, very ridiculous. And that's not to say that Black people should practice Satanism so that they can rule and take over the world. No, I think that Black people should practice Satanism because you need to free your mind. You're not free. You are very much caught up in chaos and destruction and misery. Life shouldn't be about putting on a plastic smile. Life should be about experiencing real joy. That's what it should be about. It doesn't make any sense to me. And it should be healthier. I feel like people should, try to focus on a healthier outlook on life, but it's sad, it's depressing. Um it's awful. It's awful. It's a terrible, terrible thing. And there's some people that when they read the Bible, they don't actually read the Bible. There's things that I've exposed out of the Bible that people are like, I didn't even know that that was in there. Yeah, I remove Bible curses from people and spirits, and they're doing all kinds of stuff. It's a lot of stuff in there, probably even things that I haven't even yet discovered. And I just think that it's worse than any drug. It's worse than any level of alcohol that a person can drink. I think that it's the worst thing in the world. I believe that Christianity and some of the other ones, I don't feel that it should be relevant today. I feel that the world as a whole should be striving towards something better. That's my opinion about it. Now, should I have to state this opinion all the time? No. The reason why I have to keep talking and speaking about this is because people will not stop. They will not stop. They will not stop trying to force those beliefs on other people. They will not stop trying to force people to out of their individuality. And that's another thing that you have to take back from these people is your individuality. Because when you start to deal with stuff like that, you are literally a stamped cattle, a sheep, and you're supposed to all have the same thoughts and feelings, and that just doesn't, that would be a scary thought. What if everybody on the earth looked just alike? They would find something to hate each other for. You know what I'm saying? So it just doesn't make any sense. There are always going to be meant to be people who are different. Why are they so concerned about people and so disturbed by people that are different? Why? As if they're in danger or something. So it just it doesn't make any sense to me. And I would never do it. A lot of them say that it's because of Jesus Christ, which is fine, but that's not what I'm seeing. Okay. I'm seeing people take Bible verses, conjuring up Bible spirits and pushing them onto people. That's what I'm seeing. When I look at people, when my spirits force me to look at people, I see them doing it all the time. I see them using that Bible to try to cause death and destruction to innocent children. I see them using that Bible to try to cause destruction and death and sickness to men and women. I see them doing it all the time. I don't even really see some of them. I don't even see some of them even focusing on the good things. There's a lot of good things in the Bible. Okay. But you don't see them focused on that. You see them constantly, instead of blessing their enemies, they're constantly trying to curse them. And in reality, what is an enemy? What is that? What is an enemy? Really? You made that person your enemy because of your own jealousy and your own ego. Nobody actually wants enemies. Nobody's running around here looking for enemies. In fact, there's nothing interesting about it. People are sick of it. People are actually really, really tired of all of the spiritual warfare. Everybody is tired of it. Everybody. It's not just me. Okay. It's pretty much everybody. Everybody's pretty much ready to kind of live in peace. And then, especially when it comes to people in social media, I mean, technically, you shouldn't have one word to say to somebody in social media because they're not your family. And if family wants to put those kinds of curses and stuff on people, well, we already know what that is because it even says it in the Bible. You can flip a few pages back and it says, don't curse your family members. And then people will turn the page 10, 20 pages and then they'll curse their family members, you know? So, and then they'll say, well, I had a Bible scholar um, break it down for me. I wondered the same thing, and I had a Bible scholar break that down for me. And then when you ask them, you'll say, well, how? How did they break it down for you? What did they say to you? It still won't be a explanation. They start mumbling. They start mumbling and talking about Jesus. Okay. Well, that still doesn't answer the question. Can you explain to me these things? Can you explain to me why a woman in the Bible would have to be forced to marry her rapist? Can you explain to me why in the Bible people like literally that God is a pimp? So this God that I'm supposed to see is my God created pimping, Basically, the prostitution started in the Bible by that God himself. Said that, if a man rapes a woman, first of all, if she didn't cry out for help, kill her, put her to death because she's no good. Um, and then pay her father 50 pieces of freaking silver. I mean, I I don't even believe in that God. I don't like, it's unbelievable. And then what are you going to do? Are you going to debate this with a witch or a woman that doesn't choose that? You're going to debate this with me. We're going to have a religious debate as to why I would never conform to somebody having the right to buy me. A rapist can buy me and then bear children with me and then rape my children too. Is that what he's going to do? And what are you going to say to me? What are you going to say to me when we see the devastation of rape? And it didn't say pay 50 pieces of silver to the woman. No, it says pay the 50 pieces of silver to her father, aka her pimp. So my father is my pimp. No wonder we have so many disgusting, vile men running around here. Ew. Nobody likes that, no matter what race. Why are black people embracing this? Because what I mean, nobody has to embrace it if you ask me. But why would a black person embrace that when it clearly tells you that your black ass is cursed? No matter what you do, you're not even good enough for that God. That God hates you anyway. I don't get it. It seemed like to me it's almost like a road of self-destruction. And if that's what you want, that's what you want. If you want to leave this earth and leave your children sad, and you want your whole bloodline to die off, hey, hey, that's what you that, that's your choice. Don't try to force that on nobody else. That's all I'm saying. Cause I am a Satanist, hell Satan, and it ain't gonna change ever. Satan is my father. He doesn't agree with someone raping me. That's I feel very safe with Satan. Satan wouldn't dare let somebody rape me. Okay? That's just all it is to it. Especially when I began to acknowledge him. If somebody did rape me or my daughters ever in this life, and I'm gonna knock on wood on that one, uh, they would catch his wrath. I don't know. Um, I guess if I were choosing left or from right, and on one side, my protection was telling me that I should just accept it and be forgiving, and then on the other side, somebody, where Satan is at, and he's saying, no, we're not going to forgive that. In fact, that person is going to fucking get my wrath for the pain and the suffering that you caused to my child. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am. Um Satan came to me the end of 2019. I believe it was around uh the holidays, and I didn't really share this at first, but he came to me and helped me out a whole lot. Was there by my side the whole time. that I was going through what I was going through. And at that time, I wasn't hip to those Bible curses and spirits. I wasn't hip to that yet. But he came to me and had a conversation with me. I was sitting out in my car, and he said he told me. I heard him loud and clear. He said, "You are my daughter. You my kid. You my child." And never had I ever felt safer than in that moment. And I'm not talking about Lucifer, even though I don't have a problem with Lucifer. I don't work with Lucifer. I work with Satan. So, other people may say, hey, I work with Satan and I ended up having this, and that happen. But I think that it depends on who you are. I think that if people now, am I the Antichrist? No. Does that make me the Antichrist? No, it doesn't. Because if I were there when Christ was being crucified, I would have saved his life. I'd have said, oh my God, we have to help this man. And y'all should hear them, Satan and the rest of what they call hell, which I think that's not what it is. They're constantly talking about me and how sweet and kind I am and how they don't want me to change and how they want me to stay the way that I am because I think I'm a true representation of them, you know? Not evil at all. Now, I can be called evil by people that want to try to do harm to me. And I'm not talking about just a little harm. I'm talking about big harm. I'm talking about, awful, awful harm. And so, that's just what that is. A lot of people have an issue with that. And I think the reason why they have an issue with that is because I have Satan's protection. I think that bothers a lot of people. I think it bothers a lot of people that they cannot do harm to me because Satan stands right in front of me. And then also, I have a very tight relationship with Belial or Belial and a few others. It was needed. It was destiny. It was destined. It was fate. Look at all of the shit that look at. I can't even have a YouTube channel without my whole family being threatened and harassed. Not my fault. Oh, and here's another thing before I go. None of these people on YouTube are karmics. I've said this before. I don't take them that seriously as a karmic. In fact, I had to break this down for someone. A person that you have no connection with in social media can't be your karmic. My mother, who's resting in peace, she was a karmic because my me and my mother in a previous life, we were sisters. So, like for example, if you don't get along with your mother and your mother treats you just like another heifer on the corner or heifer on the streets, then more than likely what's manifested is, and it manifests very powerful through the subconscious, your past lives, is that maybe in a past life, that mother could have been something else to you. That's a karmic. People on the internet, rarely is it going to be a karmic unless that person showed up in your family. Otherwise, a person on the internet is not a karmic. They really have no real connection with you. And I think that there's people that want a connection. They want a connection with people, whether or not it's good or bad. But I'm not your karmic at all. I'm not your karmic. I don't even know you. If I passed you by in a past life, maybe several lifetimes ago, that it's a possibility that, maybe we did. But in reality, in this incarnation, because I do believe in reincarnation and I do believe in past lives, it's not relevant. And so stop giving people more power than what they have. I'm not a karmic to nobody. I don't think of any of these people in social media as karmics. Okay. Just like I guess you can have a false soulmate or a false twin flame. That would be a false karmic. You're not actually in my real life. If it's something deep that I'm dealing with you. That's just like just recently, that attorney I was dealing with. That attorney was absolutely a karmic. And the situation is working itself out. Um, anybody that has a profound effect on your life, like they have an actual real connection with you, and whether or not it's negative, good, or bad, positive or negative, that's a karmic. Otherwise, a stranger in social media that, that you really have no real connection with, that's not a karmic. You're just infatuated with that person. And people can be infatuated with a person, and this is a fact. People can be infatuated with a person, whether or not it is good or bad. You can have good infatuations with people and you can have bad ones. I think it's just infatuation. Saying a strange person in social media is your karmic is just like saying that they're your soulmate. So it's a lot of stuff like in social media that I don't agree with. I think that when these psychic readers are doing these readings, they're not necessarily talking about um, people in social media. They're talking about people that are in your real life. And I think that that's why a lot of people latch on to each other in social media. But you're giving that parasocial relationship way too much power over you. And I guess it's tempting to do that for attention, I guess. But why would you want that kind of attention? What does it actually do for you? And so uh, I, I'm not into that. I'm not into making people, bigger than what they actually are. Because at the end of the day, none of us actually affect one another. And I think that if people are, they say doing work, so-called doing work on on strange people in social media, um, I kind of I kind of feel like that's kind of silly, but I have overseen people while looking at them. I've seen people with photographs of my children. I've seen people with photographs of me. I've seen people doing things to me, and it's like, why? You know, I guess so. I think it's a waste of time. And then I also think that, I do believe that they do energy harvesting rituals. Yeah, they do, but they never work. They never actually work for them. Not really. Not really. So I don't know. That's just like I was talking to my girl Jasmine, and me and her agree on this. Can you have an online coven, and is it the same as having an in-person in the flesh coven. Hell no, it's not. It's not. I think that if you're going to be in a coven, everybody need to meet everybody. And y'all need to regularly be in each other's physical presence. And I actually have quite a few people that I am gonna that are already basically coven members. It's not official yet, because there's some other stuff that needs to be done. But I've gotten to know them over the past couple of years, but I'm still going to eventually meet them in person, and I already know it's a good match. So, quite a few people actually that I've gotten very well acquainted with. And but I'm not going to try to do like Zoom meetings with them, I think that like when the coven is erected, we're gonna all be there in person. So I think that even in the spiritual community, especially if a parasocial relationship is toxic, and let's face it, there are some people that hold on to everything, even if it's toxic. Excuse me, it would be different if it was a positive connection. Uh, what's up with the toxic parasocial connections that people are trying to hold on to? And that really doesn't make any sense to me. So and that's why I remain an individual. I don't mind those times where I have to stand alone, that I stand alone. Now, let's take, some of the people that you've seen me with, like Jasmine and other people in social media. Yeah, I love them. Love that lady. Love Jasmine. She's a beautiful person. Um, you know what I'm saying? But that's because we have a positive connection. If it's a toxic connection, where I don't like you and you don't like me, then why not walk away? Makes sense to me. There are people that are trying to earn some kind of living by it. I guess it ain't, yeah, I don't see where it would be worth it financially either. I guess I don't know, but yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I'm gonna go. It's 2:33. I gotta go. Um, yeah, there are a lot of people over here that apparently have a problem with me selling rituals and spells. Obviously, there are quite a few of people over here that have an issue with it, because whenever I announce a special or a sale, I notice that you don't hit the thumbs up. Well, too bad. That's too bad if you don't like it. You know, mind your business. So I personally, when I see people that I support in social media selling whatever it is they're selling, I always give them a thumbs up. I notice that people purposely do not thumbs up my videos where I'm offering special sales or I'm talking about new products. They purposely don't thumbs it up because people want the energy for free. And you do get a lot of my essence. You get my essence for free. But people are just like, oh, I don't want to hear her talk about any of that. So they want me to have a full-time job as well as come on here and be a full-time vlogger and work 24 hours a day, I guess. I don't know. So that's kind of strange whenever I um make any kind of advertisement. It's kind of different on my Witch's Broom channel. But specifically on this channel, people are either not thumbsing it up or thumbsing it down. Excuse me, the last time I checked, we all need money to survive. But I don't worry about people hating on me earning money. I mean, and you know, I think it's ridiculous, and I think that none of the witches agree with that. There's not hardly any witches that agree with that unless they uh are just haters by nature. But to just say, oh, witches have to work for free, y'all should do that for free. Oh, what? When was the last time you worked for free? I don't owe no karmic debt. I don't owe any debt, spiritual or karmic debt, to where I would feel the need to just volunteer myself for spiritual work. That doesn't even make any sense. So now it's not making any sense. But it makes perfectly sense because people have jealousy problems, which to me, I feel like if you're jealous of somebody's money, I feel like you have spirits of poverty on you or something. Like some kind of impoverished spirit that you need to get away from you. If I were to come to you and say, no, you don't need to get paid for that, just do that for free, you're going to look at me like I'm crazy. If I told you, well, today's your payday, but up, you ain't getting no paycheck, you be like, fuck you, Jamila. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then, especially some of us that have been here, I've been here for 10 years doing this, almost 10 years. Nothing but an impeccable record of happy customers and clients. And if those people want, to be a part of the Zell Guys project, then go and write into the governor, write into the president and say, hey, can we just change this over to where we don't actually need money to survive, or I can just go into stores and get things for free. Can you just, to me, that's the energy of a thief too. You think what, you gonna go into the store and just walk out with a bunch of free stuff? Everything's free. That doesn't even make any sense to me. I just don't get it. I be thinking sometimes though that when I look at some people and the way they talk, I feel like it's like a early onset dementia. For the stimuli, for you to respond to stimulation that way, even when somebody's not talking about you, they're just talking about what they want to talk about, or either showing whatever it is that they're doing. And you're saying to them, well, you can't sing and you can't dance. And it's like, well, I'm not trying to sing and dance or do any of that stuff. Like, I've never heard any that's like that's like dementia or something. What's going on? So, and it's like I talked about earlier, guys, please don't ever go out here and buy free spiritual work. Please don't do that. Please don't. Not good, not safe, not healthy. Okay. All right, y'all. I gotta go. I'll see y'all later.